everything, including my face, is a mess. I don't know what's going on in this world, but it's Monday. It is a new day. The power just went out. I was putting away laundry and it was like a slow out, and then it was in and it was back out again. So yeah, the power's out, only partially through this building, and it was stuck in an elevator and I almost died this weekend. So in case you're wondering how my March is going so far, it's been this. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, you guys. Also, one of the projects I was reached out to turned out to be a total sketch scam. So yeah, so there's really nothing that could be done about it in the elevator right now. I literally, like, her phone's pretty much dead. I was like, okay, just hang tight. I told the people in the office, like, you should be okay. So obviously I'll keep checking back in or whatever, but like, what is going on? Like, this year feels so weird. Like, there's just like nothing feels normal, and I know like the last several months I've been saying there's like a lot of changes in the air and things are going to be different, but like this is not what I expected. This is, well, I guess nothing's how you expect it to be, but still, like, this is next level insanity. Like, everything is just so weird right now. I can't even begin to describe. There's like these constant promises of things to be better, but like nothing feels real, nothing feels normal. Everything is so weird and I'm just like freaking out. Does this want to focus on me? Hi, there we go. Okay, yeah, so it is Monday night. Oh, update from the last clip. Ava actually did get out of the elevator, so she's okay, everything's fine. But yeah, power did eventually come back too, so we did. Definitely enjoyed getting ready with full out candles and medieval music, and it was a really good dramatic good time. No judgment, it was fun. Anyway, yeah, so excuse me, my ears are so popped, hold up. Yeah, I drive through hills and mountains, not an exaggeration. Anyway, so I got back from class, which means it is a wholesome 12:19, and I just want to say that the entire way there, now here's how my last couple of days have gone. It has been a little jarring to get back into my life because, like I said, I know this relatively seems, I don't know how it seems actually, but like it's almost like just what took only a few hours in my day really changed my perception. Like, even though like everything I was feeling and dealing with was not real, like it really messed with me, and I'm still trying to come back from that, if that makes sense. It's actually turned out to be something more traumatic than I thought that would be. And again, like, I know it could have been so much worse, and I'm so thankful that it turned out the way that it did. It's really hard now knowing that it is probably, like, it is the most likely scenario that, yes, I was drugged, and because of that, like, I got hurt somewhere where I felt safe doing something I loved, which is ice skating, and having a day off and just enjoying it. And the fact that someone would, you know, I'm going to say this in the main video too, which I haven't filmed yet, just today I was tired, but yeah, I mean, the main thing is that, yes, I'm upset this, like, how dare someone try to take away my life. And originally I would think that would be towards, like, that anger would stem towards my future and dreams and goals and my relationships and things like that. And the reality is I care more about how that affects everybody else. And when I think about that, and when I really just take a minute to think about, okay, if anything had gone differently, I don't care what that would have meant for me at all. I really don't. What I care about is how that would have hurt people I love and people I know and just everybody else. And just, it's horrible. It's literally so horrible. And luckily I had been able to talk it over a bit in class, which is why I'm not losing it right now. But yeah, it's just thinking about that. And I don't want to think about that, but I do, and it's just like it comes back to these waves that it's horrible. So if you have an experience about this, please do speak up. You know, you can send me a message, a DM or something, or leave a comment if you feel comfortable. But
Like, I feel like these things should be told, because honestly, if I had seen somebody's vlog like this and heard about an experience that was like this, I would have recognized the picture while it was happening. Which I didn't recognize that this is what that was at that time, and I wish I did, because had I, maybe I would have taken a picture of the guy who was standing outside of the car and looking at me when I was on the phone. Maybe I would have brought up, hey, I might have been drugged when I went into the ambulance, and maybe I would have been able to test to confirm that, and maybe I would have prevented somebody else from getting hurt in the same situation in the future. And like, I didn't, and I'm glad that I got away with like my life, but like, I don't know, I would have done things differently if I had thought that this was even a possibility as it was happening, and never in a million years would I thought that. I don't blame myself for that, but it's still like, I want to make that awareness present, and I want to talk about these things, and I want this to be something that people talk about, because I know it's an uncomfortable conversation to have, but I think it's definitely worth what having. And also, I really just want to talk it out, because I need to talk it out. Okay, yeah, so anyway, I went to class. It was fun. Like I said, this will be a natural video. But on the way to class, I was listening to music as I normally do, but just feeling like I wasn't connecting to anything in particular. It was just kind of like there, so that I had a few instrumentals, and that's always nice, but they get me thinking, and it's dark, and I just start on and off losing it. Like, I'm not easily capable of driving when I'm crying. I'll tell you that. That's a hard thing to do, especially at night on a freeway that is bumper to bumper all the way over. So I did feel better about it a little bit, but it was just like this wave of sadness and not knowing how to really move on. It's like everything that I do, like I'm doing it and it's happening. I recognize where I am, but I don't feel the same necessarily. I don't feel like what I'm doing is the same necessarily either. Like, it's just, it really flipped my world upside down, and not in a positive way. It's made me more grateful and more accepting of how things are, and like, it made me more present. A lot of my little things that have been just trying to like nitpicky at my brain, or I'm like really like I'm not even worried about like so much that I was worried about before this happened. So like, there have been so many good takeaways too. But yeah, I was just really, really sad about it. And I get to class, and even at the beginning of class, I was excited to be there, but I don't know, it was weird. I walk in, and everyone's like, oh yeah, how's it going, and like, I don't know, it was crazy, because like, somebody knew that something was up long before I even said a word, and I did try to start talking about it, like everybody kind of added into the conversation and whatnot, and yeah, so everyone knows at this point that was in class today, and I went there and I explained it, and obviously it's a very horrible situation, and I'm so thankful. Book 5 of the support, especially at class 2, like, they are just amazing, wonderful people, and I am just so glad to be a part of a community like that, and to have them also really just be there and just listen and offer advice and tell stories of their own, or just other stories that helped. Like, just having those extra things helped. So yeah, so we had some scenes. I had a fun little very funny, just uplifting, really good, wholesome scene. It was really fun to connect into that. And there was another scene that was a little more difficult, a little more of a challenge, but like the improv, I really took off with it and kind of almost brought up the mood, because I'm like, look, I need comedy. I need to brighten anything at this point. But then watching other scenes too was really cool, and it was just like nice to, even though it's still hard to do that all the way through, there were a lot of moments I kind of just enjoyed what was going on, and I was able to focus on something different, which was nice, and also know that I have great people in my life all around, everywhere, my family, my friends, everyone in class, like, just like, obviously everyone at work, like, seriously, like, I'm so grateful. And yeah, things are cool, and it's nice to just be present and thankful for everything, and really just try and take this moment to calm down a bit and just be aware and be present. Yeah, so that was class. Class was really cool. I do feel a lot better. I listened to some fun music on the way back home, as I do. And tomorrow I have an audition. It's for a commercial. It's actually a bigger commercial, and ironically it has to do with driving, which I genuinely don't know what that means in terms of this audition. I'm not sure why they want to see me, but yeah, so I'm gonna find out the information about that and go to that commercial tomorrow. And then I have another commercial on Wednesday. I also have a self-tape I gotta work on, and then I got more parties coming up starting on Friday and client calls and all that good stuff. So everything's still happening, and I do think it's going to take some time to really adjust and really just be able to live my life normally in some way, because like even though I'm going through and doing things, it's still hard. It doesn't feel like it did. I'm still a little like disconnected with my life almost. So yeah, that's just where it's at, and I just want to be real with you. So that was a very long clip at way too late at night in literally the parking garage. But that's what I do. On a flip note, I don't know if future editing me is going to like it, because sometimes things look cuter in person, but my hair, kind of a fan today. Also, my makeup's like pretty looking good, and I'm wearing a fun like outfit combo, like it's super cozy and like nice, and I don't know, I'm just like feeling my lip today. So if nothing else, I've got that going for me today. I've got so much going for me, and I'm really happy about that. So yeah, what's good? Okay, so I'm gonna go and go to sleep, but that's what's happening in life today, and check back in tomorrow. The pink jacket has returned. Had an audition this morning. It was actually, thought it was a commercial, but I think it's like something else. I don't really know. But yeah, it went well. It was super chill. It was more just like a informative, get to know me kind of personality based thing, which was really nice and refreshing. So yeah, I don't know. It's like, I feel like I love every opportunity. Don't get me wrong, especially when they're really cool opportunities, but and this doesn't refer to this. This is just in general. I've had like, I feel like things are just kind of a little slow. Not too bad. Like it's not too crazy slow. It's just like every time there's the opportunity, something changes or something. I know it all works out the way that it's supposed to, but like I also know what kind of opportunities I really want, and I'm just like, where they at though? We don't know. Yeah, so that's kind of just where we're at. Kind of just partially waiting for things to happen, understanding that everything takes time, but I'm also kind of just here for making things happen myself. Fun story is the actual casting building in which I went to today is the same exact one when I put that Disney commercial. So yeah, love this place. Good memories. And because I already knew what to expect, I knew how to park, which is a big thing. And then of course the whole audition was a lot about driving too, and luckily I love to drive, so that definitely helped my answers. Yeah.
See, it's not that hard.
For camera reference, I've never done this before. Oh, hi, Laura.
Never.
Literally never. Roller skate, yes, but not
She's testing out my blades.
Because I'm curious, what is this like?
Because I'm cool and I'm a rollerblader. Oh, she almost fell.
Did I skate?
You're inside, you can't ice skate.
Footwork, like, could I do it?
You look like a cloppy monster when you do
I
that.
actually am a cloppy monster.
Hey, so you're getting the hang of it. Look it.
Ah! Honestly,
Wow.
never sure. Wee! Ha! How do you like? Woo! Wait, this is fun. How the crap did you do?
Now I
this
gotta
online?
mop the floor again.
I'll do it. I don't care. Wait, how did you do this around Venice though? That's terrifying.
I didn't do it on Venice. I rollerbladed on Playa del Rey Beach.
Oh, okay, that's right.
But like the texture is so bad. Imagine this, but bumpy, and then it makes your legs numb.
Yeah, that sounds scary.
Yeah, it sucks. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off now.
Oh yeah.
Sign off.
Bye. Hi.
It's Monday, and no, it's not. It's Sunday. We're clearly going strong. Yeah, I've been okay, but the last several days it's been kind of hard to drive just because it's really hard to focus. And I know like a lot happened last weekend, and that was pretty traumatic. So I'm kind of like, okay, that's going on. And then they're like, oh, you're anemic. So I'm like, oh, cool, I have low iron. That's probably a thing. And obviously the last several months I've been going on and off with feeling just weird, just situational things that I've been trying to figure out what's going on, and there hasn't really been a lot of explanation. Plus everyone's like coronavirus time, so clearly I'm someone who gets paranoid, and I've been not paranoid about that necessarily because, you know, it's like, well, I'm pretty healthy, but I also know I'm not as healthy, and I'm not moving as much as I used to, and walking's different, and just like I understand my lifestyle has drastically changed within the past several months, and it's just like trying to become my healthiest self again. Plus I've been stressed, and there's nothing scarier than when you feel like there's no control and everything's like just on you. Like for me, it's like I feel like every decision that's made, every impact, all the good, all the bad, everything, it all comes down to me, and I don't necessarily feel that qualified to be able to know what the best choices are. And it's hard when you're not feeling good, but you have to be the one to find a way to make yourself feel better, and you have no idea. Or you're need to find a doctor and you don't have one, and then drive yourself there even though last thing you want to do is drive. Like, it's scary. Yes, I do feel a little bit out of it. Luckily right now I feel a bit better. The sad thing is what this is, it's mostly stress. And it's funny because I usually handle stress really well, and lately things have been really good and amazing, but also very hopeful, very optimistic, very good, you know. But you know, I think like with everything that happened last week, it kind of just like triggered this altered sense of reality where like, I don't know, like what I felt was that nothing was real, and that I was stuck in this weird dream, and like everything that I do just, it felt like this disconnect. Like it was really weird. And even past that point, I got to this point where it's like I kind of feel that, just not as strongly. It's just a lot of like, I don't know, it's not going to sound crazy here, but it's almost like I'm disassociated with reality in a way, and it's like I'm not taking things the way that I usually do. Instead, I'm looking at it like I'm watching a screen. It's more like living in VR. I know this sounds weird, but that's like the best way I think I can describe it. So yeah, that's fun. So it's been a lot of that lately, and freaking out. And obviously like last night I ended up waking up, well, I couldn't fall asleep, and that's unlike me. I was tired, I couldn't fall asleep, and then I got really hot and cold flashes back and forth. I was trembling, like literally so shaky. I was having the craziest like just intenseness. And then of course I'm getting scared because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I had a party like pretty far away today, and it was this morning, and like I like to get my sleep in. I knew I didn't make anything for breakfast, just was too tired. I was just going to get up early and do that, and now I was like just trying to get to my sleep time, and it was just really terrifying, and I never felt like that before. So I ended up having some lavender and chamomile tea with some honey, and that definitely calmed me down so fast. That helped. And I watched half of To All the Boys I Loved Before, the second movie. Yeah, so that was just to get my mind off of it, because I know a lot of it's very panic based. But yeah, it's hard because so much of my life is controlled by me. And I'm learning that we're all our own experts, which is scary, because, you know, when you grow up you think, you know, that everybody else has the answers, right? And realizing that's not true, and realizing you have the best sense, and then realizing you don't really have all the answers either, is a scary thing. And when you have to deal with sickness and trying to balance yourself, like, that's so hard. And right now it's just a matter of like, okay, how do I balance my life and my health and feeling better and really just doing everything in my dreams. It's just, there's just so much, and really right now, and all I've wanted for the last like week is to really just like spend time with my family. Like that's just how it is. Like I love it here, and obviously like as tempting as it is to go back, like I'm not moving back because this is where I'm supposed to be career-wise, and I feel like my life is here now, and it wouldn't be the same as it was anyway. But I really miss my family, and they're going through feeling really on and off this week too, and I'm not doing great, and it's just like, I don't know, like that simplicity, that niceness, and it's like, especially when you're feeling miserable, having to go and to do all that stuff to like get to figure out finding a doctor on your own and just getting things together. And now I'm crying on camera again. Well, no one's surprised. It happens every once in a while. But yeah, it sucks to hit this point, and I understand that this is probably just a massive growing up moment. I don't know. It's kind of scary, kind of lonely, and kind of just, it's like so much is in my control, and when that goes well, that's amazing. But when that starts falling apart, I feel like I'm falling apart, and that's so sucky. So that's my update. Super fun. Yeah, I'm fine. I just, that's where we're at. And health-wise, I'm not feeling all that great, but I'm doing better now. I did go for a walk. I walked to Whole Foods. I spent way too much money today on things to try to feel better. Yeah, affording to be sick is not an easy thing. But I trust and I believe, and I know that these little points happen, and you know, I trust there's so much goodness and happiness just around the corner, and I think we're all going to be fine and everything's okay. But it's still a little bit weird meanwhile. So yeah, I do feel slightly better though, and I'm going to keep it easy. I think I'm going to rest my voice a lot too, and I'm just really glad that it seems like everything's relatively okay, even though things were pretty scary for a second there. Like, I need to focus on my health, and that's something that, you know, maybe needed to be this drastic for me to realize, sadly enough. Yeah, so that's what's happening, and I'm going to have dinner. I actually made some tomato soup noodles, and that's the plan.
So, I'm fine. I'm just stressed. I ended up going to urgent care today because I do have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and then I will probably be okay. I don't know, it's just a lot of weird symptoms lately that really just don't really add up to anything in particular, and they're all things that I haven't fully experienced necessarily. So I was just like, do I have a fever? Like, am I coming down with a cold? Like, what is going on here? I really don't know. Yeah, it's like shortness of breath, just like for the last several hours. My hand feels like uncomfortably like kind of like numb, tingly, but not really tingly, just cold. Like, I've been really hot, I've been really cold. Like, I genuinely don't know what's going on. I actually got kind of numb just with my fingers and my toes quite a bit today, and that's a new symptom, and I'm like, I don't know. And like this morning I was fine, and like yesterday I was okay at night, but like weird in the day, and I just, and like concentrating is really hard. Even just trying to read like is extra difficult. Like, just like, it's like my nervous system on the inside just isn't agreeing with me. Like shortness of breath, literally, like it feels like I'm wearing like a really tight necklace right here, and I'm not, I haven't. So that's what's happening. Even just like focusing on words and stuff is hard. So I'm like, what is going on, right? Yeah, I went to urgent care. That's what I did. And they were like just trying to figure it out, and ultimately just came to the same conclusion that I did, that I will figure out more and take actual tests and find out more specifics tomorrow. But at least for today, it's just like very iron deficient, and I just need to relax because I'm stressed. I'm stressed and anemic. That's where we're at, which is comforting to know I don't have a fever and I'm not sick. It's not corona time, so that makes me feel somewhat better. And it's just know I'm healthy, I'm not contagious. Like, there's so many things that I didn't really think was true but was afraid could be. I'm alive. That's one. Yeah, so I'm okay, and these things happen, but it does seem like it's just my iron levels are pretty bad and I'm stressed, and I leave a very stressful lifestyle, and when I'm not moving enough to back it up and I'm still drinking coffee, like, I just kind of got into a slightly messy situation for myself, which I've known to be true for a while, and realistically this seems sudden, but it wasn't. And I suppress a lot of just how I feel throughout, because again, if it's not extreme, I usually just ignore or I just think isn't that big of a deal, and that's something I'm realizing is not good. I should address when things are weird, but you live and you learn. So I'm very, very sad, but I did not make it to class today, and I wanted to. I was ready to. It was going to be a long time in traffic, and it's hard to drive, so that would have been a dangerous game to begin with, but I literally called us like, so I'm going to try and make it. But as it turns out, yeah, it was like, it'd be great for me to be there, and I'd love to be there, and it's genuinely so sad to not be there right now, but it's like one of those understandable things of health is so important. And even though I wouldn't necessarily get anybody else sick, like, it's supposed to rain apparently, and it's just like one of those things that if I go, I could make myself worse, even though I would go with the idea of feeling good, because I always feel really great when I go. So I am sad that I'm not there. I'm glad I'm not in traffic, but I'm sad I'm not there. But I'll be back next week, so yeah. We're okay. We're definitely okay. But yeah. Also, Mercury retrograde ends today. Like, it'll all be better tomorrow, and having a doctor's appointment tomorrow will help. And luckily, it is a little more chill this week. And it's so weird, because I had a party that, you know, sometimes like people will inquire about it, and then like the company reaches out to me and they're like, hey, can you make it? It's just an inquiry. They haven't determine if there's actually setting this party or not. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go. And then like if I don't hear back or something, sometimes it's just like people don't completely confirm their parties or whatever, so it happens. But it's weird because it doesn't happen that often, and I had one last week that just fell through, didn't work. And funny enough, the exact same day something else popped up in its place, and it was like the same time frame and everything, and it was for an audition. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, it's just like one thing falls out, another thing shows up. And same thing for tomorrow is there was another inquiry that I just asked about today, and they're like, yep, nope, never went through. So like, okay. And funny enough, that's the exact time that I ended up with the doctor's appointment tomorrow. So I don't know, some things work out that way sometimes. Okay, it's hard to breathe and I'm just talking. Yeah, I shouldn't be this winded. Iron deficiency is no joke, my dudes. Like, seriously, I'm learning that the hard way. But it's good to know, at least.